All right, another day, another video. Can you guys see that all the way back there? A couple weeks ago I made some RC Genius logo stickers. I put one up here on the back of the backsplash of the shop table, but it kind of blends in there. I think I need to maybe put one on the wall later. Anyway, what we're going to be doing today is a quick little review of the MyTrickRC UF-7C light control module for our fire truck. If you have not seen recently, I built a Traxxas TRX4 wildland fire truck. It's a pretty cool truck. I'll put a link to it in the top right corner. But I used the light control module that I had in the big Tonka fire truck that we motorized recently, and I put it in that TRX4. So I had to order another light control module for the big fire truck, which we'll bring in here in just a minute. And I kind of thought it might be a good idea to kind of go over how the UF7 controller works and give you guys a quick little overview of how to use it. The cool thing about this control module is that you can actually control the lights from your radio if you have a third channel. So let's open up this package. So the module doesn't actually include instructions in it. It includes directions to get to their website where you can find the instructions for the controller. I've used this controller several times. I've used it in 3 different vehicles, so I'm just gonna move that to the side, and that's the purpose of this video, is to kind of show you guys how it all works. Inside this bubble wrap, nicely protected, is gonna be the controller itself. I'm gonna set this aside so we can just kind of get into that on its own in a minute. Right here you've got some wire harnesses. These are going to be pretty important. The module is pretty universal because you can either run it off of a 9-volt battery like what you'd put in a smoke alarm, and then you're not tapping off of the vehicle's battery, or you can actually hook it up to your receiver and tap it off of your vehicle's battery, so you don't have to have 2 batteries on your RC. That's what I prefer to do because then you can control it from the radio. So this is going to be for the receiver. Looking a little bit closer at the module itself, you can see we've got a total of 12 slots here that we can plug in lights. We also have 2 plugs here that are Futaba style plugs for your receiver. There's a channel 1 and a channel 2. You can see it's labeled here that channel 1 is going to be to the motor and channel 2 is going to be for turning. The channel 2 is going to be where you supply your auxiliary power, so that's going to be where you're going to plug it in even if you're not using a blinker setup. That's just going to be how you're going to power the module itself. We have a mode button here. I think there's a total of 14. I'm going to have to double check on that. There's quite a few different modes that you can select it in. The letters A through F will change, so you'll have some that are blinking, some that are solid, some of them will dim. All the modes are different. And then right here we actually have the letter G, which is going to be our connector for if we're running a light bar like the emergency lights that I put on the TRX4 Sport fire truck. We also have an adhesive pad on the bottom, so you can pretty much apply this to any Lexan body or chassis pan that you want to. So I think I've gone over the basics of this controller. We'll definitely get a better understanding of how it works once it's in the truck. But in order to do that, I got to bring the truck in, so let me grab that. Weighing about 15 pounds without the batteries, here is the massive fire truck that we built on this channel. Yeah, this truck is huge. I actually think it's larger than a Traxxas X-Max by just a couple of inches in length, of course, not in height or width. Completely custom built. This truck can flow water about 20 to 30 feet away from the truck, so that's pretty serious stuff. So in order to open up the truck, we just have to lower the outriggers here, and I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see that. These outriggers actually act as a lock for the body to the chassis. Now we can lift off the body. We're gonna move the chassis off the table, and we're gonna bring the body back in. I'm going to turn this on its side. It just barely fits on the table here. As you can see, we've got a lot of stuff, and unfortunately the wires are a little bit of a mess since I took the other light control module out and put it in the TRX4 fire truck. Here we've got our water line. That's not going to be in the way or anything. You can see here that I just peeled the adhesive tape off. We're gonna make sure that these wires don't get pinched underneath it. We're gonna slap that right back there. Okay, so this truck actually requires 2 batteries to run. We've got a 3S LiPo that sits up front and powers our pump on its own. And then we've got a 7-cell nickel metal hydride pack that sits in the back for the main operations of the truck. Now I'm gonna grab my radio from over here. I'm gonna turn the radio on, and this is a pretty cool thing. This isn't actually a video about the radio link setup either, but I might as well just show you that what I've got is I've got the RadioLink RC6GS. This is a great transmitter. I really enjoy it. It's very affordable and extremely programmable. All I gotta do is I gotta press these 2 buttons here and I can select the model. I'm bringing that a little closer. I can select the model I'm in. So prior to me going into this, I was actually in the TRX4 controller. Now I can go to model 1, and that's going to be this fire truck. So now I can power the truck on. Everything kind of beeps. So I'm going to bring in the wire harness for the MyTrickRC light controller. Right here we're going to plug in to the receiver, and then we're going to take our other plug and go into channel 2. It's very important to remember the orientation of your plug. You don't want to put it on incorrectly. The white signal wire, so if you follow me here, the white signal wire should be closest to channel D on the MyTrickRC control module. So just make sure that you power it up like that. Now you're going to see there's a little red light that's blinking on the module. That's its system for telling you what kind of mode it's in. So blinks once, it's going to be in mode 1. Blinks twice, mode 2, and so on. So what we need to do is we're just going to plug in a couple of lights. We're going to start with our white headlights on the truck. And you guys can't see because the light is on and it's out of the frame. But if I turn this off, you might be able to see the glow of the white headlights on the fire truck. So those are on right now. We want those to be steady on along with the tail lights. We want those to be steady on as well. And then we want everything else to be flashing. The channels that are opposite of each other will act in a side-to-side pattern. So if I want this light to be flashing up here and I want the one down here to be flashing when this one is not flashing, all I have to do is put it into a different channel. All right, and there we go, you guys. It's working really well. I'm happy with the setup it's at. You can see that we've got all the lights alternating. If I turn the shop light off, you can see them flashing a little bit more easily. The great thing about this as well is that I can actually shut them off from the radio. I'm ready for an emergency. I can put the lights on and we're ready to go. So I hope you found this little tutorial helpful. It can be confusing if you're not familiar with some of the terminology of the channels and stuff like that. If you go to the MyTrickRC website, you'll find the full instruction manual for this module. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.